Hello and welcome to this special segment from the Sigma Central Europe Media Lounge, where innovation meets inspiration. My name is Emanuele Frascadore, and today I have the pleasure of speaking with Fiorentina D'Amore, CEO in Malta and Senior Director of Business Operations in the EU of Blockchain.com. Hi Fiorentina, how are you today?
Hi, Emanuele. I'm very well, and this is a very special occasion for us to be here. And thank you for the invitation.
Thank you for joining us. How are you driving growth and market presence in Europe, particularly as countries like Italy embrace digital transformation and online payments?
So, blockchain.com has just received their Mika license, and they plan to passport their services across the European Union. Italy is an emerging market for crypto. We still consider it to be semi-virgin territory. There's not too much adoption, which to us means there's a lot of opportunity. When it comes to crypto, the first and most important thing is education. So blockchain.com, as all other crypto entities, focus first and foremost on awareness of our brand, on awareness of the product, but especially the risks of the product. Crypto has been in the past, historically, a bit of a renegade of financial services. And today, with Mika, we have the amazing opportunity of building user trust and consumer trust, exactly like any other financial service or banking services. Italy, we look at Italy with great expectations. There's a lot to do. We would like to tap at the markets of the SMEs, of the small and medium enterprise that could benefit from saving a lot of money, and making their payments in crypto or stable coins. When it comes to investors, we capitalize also on the presence of the new millennials who are today our new investors, and also the people that want a change in the financial services industry. There's a lot to do. There is a very a good indication of government push on that, which is cautious, and it's understandable. But we are very hopeful for that market specifically.
Yeah, I'm sure Italy's digital growth will be gaining momentum.
Exactly, and what I can say is that Italy, with digital payments, historically has been super strong. They could be considered one of the first countries in the European Union that actually has preferred digital payments, with what we call the redditometro and all that. Let's say money laundering prevention and tax evasion prevention policies, which eventually pushed society to digitalization of financial services more than anyone else, I must say.
Amazing, amazing. And Italy stands out as one of Europe's largest untapped online markets. How does blockchain.com view this as an opportunity to drive greater financial inclusion and expand access to digital payment solutions?
So when it comes to driving our strategy, it's not going to be something done from a day to another. We plan to have presence and footprint in Italy. One of our plans is to participate to next year's Sigma, as one of the few. Actually, there's going to be two, and we are going to be one brand that is present here with crypto as a crypto exchange and a crypto company de facto. We feel that there is a lot of potential, especially in the B2B, as well as in the B2C and high net worth individuals.
We're definitely hoping to see you next year here as well.
Absolutely, count on that.
What role do you see crypto wallets and exchanges playing in enhancing user convenience and trust in countries where digital payments are accelerating?
So when it comes to adoption and when it comes to trust, one needs to understand that we are living a paradigm of shift from the traditional financial services to a completely new concept, which is virtual financial services. In the middle, there is EMIs, electronic money institutions, that already offer a digital form of payment. And the whole movement, if I may, started with cards way back in the 90s. So we already went from cash to check to plastic money, and now we are into the electronic money. And after the electronic money, the natural evolution of financial services is bound to go to crypto. The truth is that crypto is not just the future of payments, it's also the present of payments. I want to reiterate on this particularly because it's important to understand that there are a lot of communities, a lot of companies, and also a lot of industries that today are already basing their business models, their operational business models on crypto, on the acceptance of crypto. When it comes to trust, the only way that trust can be built in the consumer is by regularizing it. Mika has that power. Once that crypto will feel as a regulated product, something that is controlled, something that takes care also of the client, where the client needs and risks and well-being, financial well-being is taken into consideration, then that is when there would be mass adoption. As well as B2B, which is very important to have mass adoption, you need to make sure that the large enterprises like Amazon, I don't know, AliExpress or ASOS or all other big monsters of e-commerce should start accepting crypto, and that is when we will see a systematization of the currency and of the medium of payment.
Definitely. And at the end of the day, trust is the key to mainstream
Exactly. People need to feel safe. You need to understand that the most important things to people are health and their own money, their own wealth. So when you take care of those two things in a regulated space like Europe, which is so far the most regulated space for crypto, but also the most followed as well, because all the big players are aiming at the European Union to drive their markets and their business model from the European Union, you understand that things are pushed from the European Union worldwide. So it's very important for all crypto entities, including blockchain.com, to stabilize themselves and establish their footprint in the EU, because from the EU one needs to expect, let's say, a ramp, to use a crypto word, or a springboard to the other countries as well.
It's fascinating. Thank you for sharing your insights.
Of course.
If you had to predict the next major shift in Europe's digital economy, what would it be and why?
So the economy is already shifting. We should be expecting the harmonization of all the rules. So what we had before? Before we had different NCAs. The NCAs are the different regulators of countries that were interpreting crypto according to their own risk factors or appetites. Today, with Mika, I'm not saying that Mika will solve everything, but it's a step in the right direction. And we should expect Mika 1, Mika 2, Mika 3, as it is with PSD1, PSD2, and probably very soon PSD3, where trying to ensure that the protection of clients is at the forefront of goals. What is the expectation? The expectation is that all 27 plus 3 European member states will eventually experience unification and more harmonization. Right now, the fragmentation is still carrying on. It's still early, but this is an economy which is driven by regulation. So we need to make sure that everyone follows the regulation. And unlike other directives, like the anti-money laundering directive, there is no transposition for Mika, so there is no room for interpretation of every country. And that was by design to ensure that there is harmonization and unity. Maybe Europe is trying post-war, since the 1945, to be united, and I think that crypto is doing that from a financial perspective, from an economical perspective. How we monitor it, how we regulate it, how we make sure that the consumers are always protected, in something that started like a revolution against banks, we have to say that, will be interesting to see, and it will be extremely fast as well.
Yeah, well, hopefully exciting times ahead for Europe's
Indeed,
digital
indeed.
landscape. Fiorentina D'Amore, CEO in Malta and Senior Director of Business Operations in the EU of Blockchain.com. Thank you so much for being with us today and sharing with us
My
your
absolute
insights.
pleasure, Magola.
And hopefully we will be keeping an eye very soon on your next steps.
Count on it.
My name is
you.
Emanuele. Thank you. My name is Emanuele Frascadore, and you're watching Sigma Central Europe. See you at the next interview. Ciao.